welcome. You're number one today. That's awesome. I'm a little taken back here. I'm shocked. And I'm discombobulated because I'm thinking, what do I want to do with this information?
Authorities have released body cam video of their discovery of the mummified remains of an alleged cult leader.
I think decom mummification.
The Sawash County Sheriff's Department says 45-year-old Amy Carlson's body was found wrapped in a sleeping bag and decorated.
Okay, so they're looking at her. This is her. She's laying there. She was there for weeks like this. Those are not her real eyes, obviously. Her eyes are closed, and then they painted on top of the eyelid to make it look like she had eyeballs. She took so much colloidal silver that she looked like the Tin Man on Wizard of Oz. I know, I'm a bonehead. Okay. So there's actually a video on YouTube that I watched, a coroner who spoke about this, talking about the legality of keeping a dead body in your house for 4 months.
You're about to get it.
Yes.
And every one of you that went against me, you're going to get it.
I've never seen a group of people be so nonchalant about a dead person in their back room.
9 Months to Know is learning more today about the woman's body found fully decorated in Christmas lights in a home in southern Colorado.
Whew. Did you folks wake up this morning and think, today I would like to go on a wild journey?
Christmas lights and glitter, and you see the flowers, you know. And I don't know how long they were planning, like how long were they planning on keeping this thing going, right? These were some wild and crazy kids. These were some wild and crazy kids that were hanging out with her. And they loved her, and they believed that she was the female god. They believed it, but there were massive amounts of psychotropic drugs involved in this belief system. They ended up getting caught, got in trouble, got arrested, you know, the whole 9 yards. But listen to this, how weird this is. So this is in Crestone, Colorado, that they end up finding her, right? She's right down the street from Barry Morphew's house, the cult is. But what's so interesting is that she actually spent quite a bit of time on Kauai, in Hawaii. She and her handful of nutty cult followers, they went to Hawaii. They were going to start this big compound, you know, I guess the whole Jim Jones thing. Well, they were there for a while, and it's come out now that she was like teaching classes at a church there on Kauai, but it was a place that was kind of out in the you know, in the jungle, and it wasn't really in the middle of town or anything, and it had some fairly fringe type of people, had a fairly fringe kind of people that were there. But ultimately, the apartment complex that they were living in, the people there got sick of her. Well, they were sick of her and her cult members. They apparently were very dirty. They, you know, it was smelly. They left a lot of trash laying around. They were always whacked out on drugs. And to make a long story short, they did actually basically just got run out of town on a rail. Nobody wanted them there. So they get on an airplane, they come back to Colorado, where they finally they did sofa surfing for a while before they end up at this. Wasn't it a trailer? Is it a trailer that she was found in, an old house or something? Yeah. And she died. She died of cancer. Right? Now, her thing was to say that she was the female form of God. And a lot of her sermons, a lot of her messaging was women are God, or women have God energy. And it's so interesting because she was on the island at the same time Lori Vallow was on the island of Kauai. And Kauai is not a very big island, right? So my curiosity is, did she go listen to this crazy woman speak about the feminine mystique in God? Is that where Lori and Mel, sweet Mel, is that where they got their ideas about uber sexual controlling women with little soft, sappy beta males? Is that where it all came from? Because all these women that were connected to Lori, they ended up divorcing the normal, strong men that they were married to, and then turned right around and married these weak, soft, little syrupy men. And then talked about how they were part of the chosen 144,000. It's a question. I don't know if it has any basis in reality, but it's a question. I can speak on this topic for hours. Well, then speak on the topic. Okay, you have to come up and speak on the topic. Come teach us. Oh my God, Zelda. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine. I tried to watch that episode from Merv about Jules. It's so ridiculous. And she really thinks she's superior. Was surprised one of our former mods was a troll over here. What? She's so useless. Don't even think about it. Did you go? So you went over there then? Oh.
Huh?
Hey, how are you?
I am outstanding. How are you?
I'm doing great.
You're beautiful as always. I wanted to say that earlier and I couldn't get it out. I don't know if I did or not.
Well, you thank you, and you look like a serious woolly booger.
I'm growing this freaking thing out until it freaking touches my nipples or whatever.
You're gonna be one of those mountain men with the big Grizzly Adams.
Yeah. So whenever I get shot or whatever, or if I drink too much colloidal silver, this stuff will turn blue like a Smurf. It'll be cool.
Was that crazy? The color of that woman?
I went there. I don't know if you were in chat, but I actually talked to two dudes that were there that lived in that trailer.
These were part of her cult member?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us what you learned about it.
They took her from Cali dead in the car, traveled all the way to Crestone. They lived in Cali for like, I think a month or so. Mm-hmm. But they took her body after she died back to Crestone. That's where she died. She was like 80 pounds when she was dead.
God.
There was like 6 kids that lived in that trailer. It was a double wide trailer. It's kind of long. They had a couple barns back behind. When I went there, I knocked on the door. There was like 16 or 18 cars parked in front, but nobody answered. I was just wanting to talk to them and just like, chill. What's up? I want to join your cult. Let's do some colloidal silver together or whatever. Yeah, so I was there and I was in the town. I met a wonderful woman who had a rock shop, and she had like an office building with upstairs. It was just renovated and there was apartments and such. I was speaking with her in a rock shop for like it was close to an hour and a half. And I then found out that she was a witch, which was pretty cool. After about an hour, and then
Mhm.
she invited me on a granite journey where we shrink down into molecules that are smaller than the molecules inside of granite, and we would go on a granite tour.
I remember you
Yes,
brought that up at
yes,
talking about that. Yeah.
yes. That was this. That was. I spent one day down there, and then I went back the next day just because it was crazy. But I talked to two dudes that lived there. They were kind of. I don't say they were cracked out, but they weren't sober. Kind of like me right now. They weren't sober, but I'm not that whacked out. I just had a couple beers, but I just had to say that walking up there and seeing that car wrapped, it had a blue tarp just on the backside, so you couldn't look in to where all the
Yeah.
bodily fluids were sitting and such.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it
Ugh.
was it was still parked there along with these like 15 or 17 other cars, and I'm like trying to look in, and then I'm putting Hope Rocks everywhere, in all these cars and
It
threw
was
them on
too
the
late.
porch.
It was too late for Hope Rocks.
Well, the people that were in there and the kids and stuff, and so
Yeah.
I'm like putting
Yeah.
them out there, and then I went right across the street is like a park with swing sets and like merry-go-round and stuff, and so I'm like putting Hope Rocks down, and then I threw the drone up real quick and trying to get somebody to come out. I landed on the trailer just to mess with them or whatever, and then I took back off, but nobody ever came out. But there were so many cars there. They had to be there. But anyways, the second day, and whenever I talked to the two dudes, I still have their number, and I'll offer them to you if you wanted to do a show with them. I'm sure they would come on.
Mhm.
They were very different people, and they had huge amounts of love for this woman, and they thought of her as what God is. It was a love always wins cult, is what it was
Love
called.
always wins. That's
Yeah.
it. Love always
Yes,
wins. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so it kind of tweaked me out because I was like, no, that's my tagline, love wins,
Yeah.
but then I found out they were there long before I had used that. So, but yeah, no, I won't get into too much details and take up your show because this is about another topic. But I will promise if you want to talk about this on another day, I will come up and expand further. It was just weird. The next day after I talked to the witch lady, beautiful woman, just great, solid, great energy, passionate about rocks and just love and just community. She was
Did
right across.
she have like a rock shop? I mean, was
It
that
was it
how?
was a shop, yeah. It was a shop for essential goods and like just a small, tiny like grocery store, but she also had rocks and
Okay.
stuff. So I brought in all of my rocks because I was going to give her everything she wants and say, hey, you sell them all you want because I hand touched and hand did something with every one of these. And I
Mhm.
picked them all up by myself. So, but yeah, so she loved that and and all this stuff. And then we were talking about this granite trip, and I thought she meant like into a mine, and I'm like, I'm down, let's go. I'm a mine guy. I love mines. Let's go into this granite and do this. And then the lady behind us, there was an old lady, she's probably 75 or 80, and she's like, yeah, it's a very good experience, right? So then I find out it's not a mine. She was going to shrink us down smaller than a molecule, and so we could go inside of a granite mountain and actually
Yeah.
be inside granite molecules.
Right.
And she can only take 6 at a time because the space is limited. So it was pretty cool. And she was going to do that for me for
Okay.
free. So I'm still planning on doing it, but
Okay.
I'm too broke right now to actually head back down and do any investigating, much less go down there for pleasure and like take granite tours and stuff. So, but yeah, I
Okay,
plan
but
on it.
so this is just going to be like one of these like kind of one of these altered reality experiences.
Yeah.
She's, and is she
I'm
going to
sure it
serve
involved like
ayahuasca?
ayahuasca. I'm sure it was ayahuasca. I
Okay.
didn't ask her,
Yeah.
but I really
That is probably part of it.
I didn't want to push her too far because I was going to take her up on the offer, and that was I wanted to know, but then I didn't want to know. It's kind of one of those things because it would be a life it would be a life experience that you could tell and nobody would ever believe you, because I have so many of those. So like I could add that to the list of, hey, I was inside granite for like 4 hours with 5 other people, and it was so dope.
Well, let me just say this, before you do ayahuasca,
I'm never going to do ayahuasca.
you need to research it.
I did. I have.
Because it's
Believe me.
not a fun experience.
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but even though it has some medical benefits for PTSD and such, but I'm not gonna play around with that whenever I'm going inside of a granite rock with 5 strangers that I don't. Yeah, that's not gonna be fun. I'd end up on some paid membership channel on some
I know
tied up and freaking
watching some guy freak out.
So I just had to come on and say I was there, dude. I felt the energy in Crestone. It was cool. Right across the street from this lady's shop, like a block away, not even half a block, actually. It was a non-denominational church, and I didn't see one pair of shoes on any of those people, and those rocks were sharp. But yeah, there was dresses and no bras and just no shoes, and it just looked. It was just come as you are, and they
did they have snakes? Did they dance with snakes?
No, I don't think they did. I think that they preached just love and kindness and respect there. Honestly, it seemed. I don't know if you remember the rainbow community back in the 90s. The rainbows were people that would travel around in the country from mostly West Coast, and they kind of came into like the Southwest and a little bit, but the rainbow people, that's what it reminded me of, was the rainbow people, and it's all love and free love. It's like the hippie movement, but times 10, and you take psychedelics and you're jacked up on a whole bunch of different chemicals. So hey, can I show you one thing that just came in the mail? I just was shown. So this will be backwards, but
it's not backwards.
Love wins. This just came in the mail randomly from somebody from Twitter. I couldn't believe it. I just opened up the package, or Celeste opened up the package and just showed me while I was talking.
Very nice. Where are y'all going to put them? Yeah, they're beautiful.
Somewhere cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's made out of metal. That's a lot of money and a lot of effort.
You could put it behind you for your YouTube show.
Yeah, but not very many people like that type of stuff from me. They don't want to see the soft side. They want to see the jackass side, making an ass out of myself.
I don't think. Do you think that's true?
I
don't think that's true. I don't think it's true.
Well, either way, they're going to get me. So if they want to tune in, they're going to get it. If they don't, they don't. That's okay. I wish I could see chat, because you have such a great community, and I've always said that about you. Your community, your mods, especially those that in chat, are almost as brilliant as the way you come across. It's so hard in chat to come across as brilliant. You come across as brilliant, period. I'm not kidding. I'm not just blowing smoke up your whatever. But your community.
I have a great community.
Wow.
I have a great community.
It's so freaking awesome. Every time I come here, I get amped up, and I just smile. And your knowledge on so many topics just blows my freaking mind. So whenever I'm having a kind of a tough row of things and I see your lawn, I come here and it just revitalizes me.
Well, you're always welcome. You are well loved. You know who was here today? JoJo was here. JoJo Ballistic.
Really? Good for her. I hope that went well. I didn't get to see that. I'm glad that I don't watch YouTube that much, because it kind of makes your brain go nuts. But
it does. Yes, there's a lot of crazy crap that goes on. No doubt.
But you center me, and your community center me. So I just wanted to say that. And
thank you.
Also talk about the Love Always Wins dudes. And I can text those dudes. I texted one dude before I got up on panel, but I haven't got an extra. But I will text the second dude, who will likely come up if you wanted to talk to him, like right now, because he's crazy.
It would be interesting to talk to him. And my understanding is, didn't they have a YouTube channel?
Sort of. I didn't research them that much, because I really didn't care. But
no, I think that they had a YouTube channel, and I think that they were making money for Amy with the YouTube channel.
Well,
Yeah.
they're smart if they did, and they're dumb if they didn't. If you have a charismatic leader who thinks and speaks his way as she does, if you don't monotonize it, it's silly. So yeah, but they had to have some money. I mean, they weren't old cars that were parked there. These cars that were parked there were fairly new. I mean, good condition. I mean, so
there was one story that came out that I remember specifically because it was close to me. It was a guy. I don't remember what kind of work he did, but there were he and his wife. They had a couple of kids, and they were fairly just middle class, normal people. And somehow, I don't remember how it was, but somehow he ends up connected to this Love Wins cult. And so love always wins. And so she talks him into coming to Colorado, or maybe were they in Wyoming for a while? Maybe they were in Wyoming.
There was some people in Oregon. I know that. I don't know about Wyoming.
Yeah, maybe it was Oregon. So anyway, make a long story short, he tells his wife, this is something I just have to do. I guess he was going through some soul searching,
What? That's like a midlife crisis on steroids right there.
No, I think it was definitely midlife crisis.
Yeah.
So
I need a new purpose. And she's the god, and I'm going to go see her.
Yes. And so he gets on an airplane, off he goes. His wife and his kids are left in Dallas. He goes out. She puts him in charge of her security detail.
Oh, that's so cool.
So he stays out there for a while, and he's supposedly saying he's got this new job and he's going to be in charge of security detail. And the next thing you know, the mom looks up, the woman looks up, and he's taking all the money out of the bank. He gives Amy all the money that he had, because that's what you do when you're head of the security, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they drive him out somewhere miles and miles and miles away from any kind of civilization. They drop him off and leave him
in Cotopaxi, Colorado. Yes, I've heard this story.
Yeah, and so then he calls his wife. He's so I don't know where they took my money, and he almost died.
Yeah, there's no cell service. There's no people. Like you are in the middle of nowhere, and a lot of people from Cotopaxi and Fremont County actually go down to Crestone, because that is a meth haven. So there's a lot of drug running between Crestone and you go down there, you drive down the roads, and there's trees, and they have flags in them with like spirit and hope and stuff like that, and you're like, those are in the trees like 100 yards back. And you're like, what the heck would somebody put that right there for? It's just weird, man. You got to experience it. There's no other way.
It's a crazy place. How many missing people from Crestone?
I heard that there was a lot, but in my research, from what I hear, there's only been 4 in the last 2 years, but maybe I was wrong. Again, I don't have my team to actually research so much for me, but and that's a good thing, because I was going in there almost blind, and it makes it for a better experience, because you don't know what to experience. You don't know what to expect. And
there's UFO observing platforms.
Yes,
and Hindu temples and all kinds of crazy stuff.
They celebrate the what was it called, where it's the light of the universe, where everything is dark, so the whole town turns off all the lights so you can see all the stars on one specific night. It was a festival, and I was there 2 days after that festival, so there was a lot of those people remaining, and it was just people were cool. I'm going to be honest. People were cool. They were all nice, and they were all welcoming, and just friendly and caring, and, and just decent people. And I'm not, I can't judge anybody, because I'm pretty crazy myself. So I can't really judge anybody, but just seeing so many people walking down on that sharp shale, rocky stuff without shoes on it just made me think there needs to be a shoe store in that town. So maybe the businessman side of me needs to kick in and put some shoe store in there, so that way these people can have some shoes, and I can make bank, so that way I can go find more missing people, right?
Okay, so Crestone, for it to be an area that's so that's so much poverty. There's not much industry, right? There's no money. There's no money coming into the community.
Right.
But the net worth of the people that live there is off charts, right?
So what does that say? What, you could take that many different ways. So I'm not going to speculate, but if you have common sense, you can kind of understand if it's a drug mecca, and if it's a place where poverty reigns, but yet the average homeowner's income is $160,000. That should tell you a little bit about the community that you're visiting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So do you know where Crestone came from?
Where?
So you know how they have all these rules with Crestone, that they want small carbon footprint. They don't want you to waste it. No plastic. It's supposed to stay as close to nature as it possibly can, right?
Right.
Doesn't want any industry coming in to mess things up, nothing like that. In fact, the parcel of land was purchased because it sits as a little peninsula, and on 3 sides of that area is national forest. Yeah. It's protected federal land, right?
Of course.
So it's just like this little area that you can go into. So if you live there, if you own some land there, you're gold.
Right.
So where did it come from?
Hey, I just work here. I don't know nothing, lady.
So
I'm a hairless ape. I just keep the keys on the keyboard. I can't say anything.
So it was originally purchased by a huge oil tycoon from Canada. Crestone was bought by dirty old oil and gas money.
And there's a lot of uranium there. There is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of uranium, and with the United States getting away from China's uranium production and trying to find their own, there's going to be in the future. There's going to be a lot of money made in Crestone because of the oil, the leases from the government to these companies.
So the guy purchased this parcel of land not because he wanted it, but because his woman wanted it. Right? His wife said, "Oh, we got to take that. I want that piece of land."
She's a smart woman.
So he buys it. She goes in there and takes it and says, "Oh, it's going to be this great, freedom, love, no kind of pollution. It's going to be the greatest thing." And this big oil baron who made just uber bank on oil and gas, he ends up saying, fossil fuels are from the devil. They're no good. They're destroying the earth. And then he went to work for the United Nations.
Wow.
Well, that's that. So it's very, he may be the biggest hypocrite on the planet.
But the energy from that town can make you feel a certain way, because I can tell you, driving through there, walking those streets, seeing what I saw, and also experiencing the people itself, it's a different energy, and it doesn't feel like a drug town. It doesn't feel like anything other than just a very impoverished, wonderful, welcoming place for anybody. No race, creed, or color, shower or no shower, beard, no beard, whatever, clothes or no clothes, whatever. You are welcome here, and we love you. That's what it feels like. And there's also another vibe, and it's hard to put into words. And it's something that whenever I go down there again, I'll try to capture a little bit more in depth on video, because I hadn't expected to see as much as what I did. So I only have like dash cam and a little bit of the stuff from the trailer whenever I went there, and I didn't film the guys when I talked to them.
So how far away is the Love Always Wins
8 miles.
cult?
About 8
from
miles.
like where the campground and the white sands and
the white sands are south. The Crestone itself is they lived about 5 miles, I think, ish, away from downtown Crestone. And whenever I went down there, the National Forest Service road that I was going to take up over the mountain, because it's a pretty good off-road trail, It was closed, of course, but so I had to spend my time down there doing something, and I just walked around, man. I just wanted to get that experience, and then I met the two dudes, and I actually asked the shop owner lady. I was like, "How the hell do you deal with the cult that's here?" She's like, "They don't bother us, and it's you just put up with them. They don't do nothing bad to you, and you don't do nothing bad to them. You just coexist."
So is the cult, were they like hanging around on the sidewalk trying to get people to give them money, or
No.
selling things, or
No. You
no?
couldn't tell these guys were cult. I mean, I met them in front of that church where everybody was barefoot, and I just wanted to see, what they were talking about. And the services had just let out, and everybody comes out, and there was not a shoe in the bunch, and that's all I remember was like the
You're
biggest
like,
thing
this
was
is a market.
I was like, damn! I should kick off these boots right now.
Right.
I'm like, I stick out like a sore freaking thumb. I'm gonna get killed, but I didn't. And I'm not mummified, and I wasn't transported anywhere, so it's all good. But they were about 0.5 miles away from CM in Hawaii, where he had previously resided at a former time.
CM.
Chris McDonough.
Oh, was he in? He was in
know.
Hawaii.
I don't know.
I saw where there was that.
Aloha.
He says aloha or something.
Yeah.
Well, but Lori Vallow was there on Kauai, and of course, a lot of people think I'm crazy, and that's okay. I don't care.
You are crazy, but in a good way, in a brilliant way. Anybody that has a big brain like you, and like your community, you're going to be viewed as crazy because people can't understand the depths of what your worldview can be and how it can change if you understand different cultures, different relationships between countries and religions and all that. They have grown up the same thing and done the same thing their whole life, and they cannot understand it, and that's where you guys stick out.
Well, but anyway, so
change that subject.
I am because it makes me uncomfortable. Don't make me uncomfortable. Quit. So anyway, so I think with Lori Vallow, I don't know how much you know about that case.
Yeah.
But I think with Lori Vallow, I think that Jason Mao, I think he's part of the top of the food chain, and I think they were manipulating Lori. I think Lori was the draw. She was uber charismatic, beautiful, right? And I think I think they believed she would attract money, that they could exploit people and get their money for this prepper heaven kind of thing.
Did that happen? Did that happen? Did it come to fruition?
Almost, if they hadn't gone slap ass crazy, it would have, right?
Right. They would have, had a little bit of self-control, they would have been in, a good spot.
Yes.
Joel Osteen. They would have had the Joel Osteen of the crazy world. I'm just saying.
Do you listen to Joel Osteen? I know the guy in Houston.
I hate that guy. Literally.
Why do you hate Joel Osteen?
He refused refuge for people who were trying to escape the hurricane. And his church that held how many hundred people or thousands of people?
Wait a minute, AK. It was the Summit. That's where the Rockets played basketball, professional basketball stadium. And he refused to let anybody in. It was like 30,000 people.
30,000 people. Yes. And I was doing disaster recovery, and that was the second time, the latest time when he refused them. He blamed it on some other shit. And then they found like $500,000 in the bathroom stall of the behind the construction.
In the wall.
And he had already gotten paid out for the insurance on that money, and then they found it. Statute of limitations for the insurance company going after him to get that back has already come in past. How odd.
Yeah.
That guy's a fucking puke. Sorry.
And his brother is a heart surgeon.
Really?
His
Well,
his brother is a heart surgeon
that breaks my heart.
who left his practice to come work at the summit with Joel. So that tells you how much money they're making.
No, if you've seen his mansion, it's like 40 rooms, and he's just a good bullshitter is all he is. He's a Chris who actually found a good niche market. Chris would be a great cult leader. Chris would have the greatest religion palace, and it would be built out of greatness and spittle and hold together through the greatest of hurricanes, because he's the greatest man in the world. I can just say that.
Yeah.
But
So
anyways, I'm not going to divert into that. I'm sorry. But yeah, I just wanted to jump up here and say, hey, you are awesome. You make me laugh. You make me smile. Your wit, your banter, your brilliance is just unmatched on this community. Your community is great. And I cannot go through a bad day without jumping on and watching one of your videos. Just
deal.
I'll shut up and I'll get off because I'm unfiltered, and I will I'll let you get back to your show. I think your husband's wrong, though. I think there's
about what?
The ending to this saga that's going to happen.
He said they made a deal with Governor Abbott.
Well, I don't believe that they honor any deals, because if you are a liar to an infidel, that is the greatest thing in the world. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but anyways, maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. I'm wrong 99.9% of the time, baby.
One more question to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Or comment. Is it true, because I had some ugly messages when I said this, is it true that if you die in the service of Allah, or you do the things that are laid out in the Quran that you're supposed to do, if you kill somebody in the service of Allah, that not only when you go to heaven do you get your virgins, but you also get to be a very beautiful, physically beautiful person? Is that true or not?
That is 100% true. And I want to point out something. When they say you're going to get your virgins, how many virgins?
Isn't it 72? Is it 70?
Do they specify a gender?
No.
Exactly.
And see, I was going to do a show on the dancing boys of Afghanistan.
I'm telling you, they don't specify a gender for a reason.
They don't. No, they don't.
And I'm just saying, I've experienced a lot of that culture, and I'm not talking out of my ass here.
No, I know what you're talking about.
And it's a controversial subject, and I'll probably get zoomed and freaking banned for this, but they don't specify gender. I'm just saying.
You're right. No, you're 100% correct. You're 100%
They're going
right.
there expecting these 72 virgin, beautiful
so
women. And they get all these dudes
that
look like me. I'm sorry.
Okay. Another. Did you see the case of Lena Sarwar Khan out of San Antonio?
Yes. Yes.
The 3-year-old who is
that we were talking about the other night. You were talking about it, and I was in the
4 feet tall, 50 pounds.
Yes, total horseshit, total switcheroo, total. She was a bride. She was her dowry was freaking large, I'm sure.
Yeah. If you notice one of the pictures that she looks the oldest in, which may be all of 5 years old, she doesn't look old at all. She's wearing 5 gold bands on her wrist.
No, people don't understand what gold bands mean.
So
we'll just leave it at that.
That's part of the dowry, right? I mean, that's it.
I know nothing. I'm just a hairless ape who pounds on keyboards and talks on live and trashes people's whole live streams. So I love you. And I truly care about you, and I don't want to take up any more of your time. I can't see chat. I wish I could. I don't mean to ignore people if they're asking anything, but I just wanted to come up here and talk about that love wins always ship, because that was crazy.
It is crazy. Anytime I see one person able to command a group of people, I'm amazed.
Well, you're a cult leader.
I'm not a cult leader.
You have over 10,000 subscribers, right? So
I'm not a cult leader.
Is that not a cult? Does that not make you a leader of a cult? What is the definition of a cult leader then to you, Miss Cult Leader?
The definition of a cult leader is being able to command a group of people with no logic or rational thought. That I just say do this, and not a single person stops to go, why is she telling us to do that? That doesn't make sense. That's
Well, your
not
community pushes
logical.
back. Yeah, your community pushes back. So then you're not a good cult leader. So you
I'm a
suck at cult.
I'm
Yeah.
a horrible cult leader.
You suck at cult leading. Okay, you need to go back to school in cult leading.
I'm a failure.
I love you. I'll jump off of here.
I had somebody tell me the other day I should get a life.
You have more of a life than they could ever imagine, and unfortunately, these people live under rocks, and they live under this weird comfort umbrella that if they were to step outside of it and see the world for what it is, they would completely lose their shit.
Yeah.
And that's 100% fact. They lived a sheltered life, and they don't understand what the real world is like.
Yeah.
If homelessness, religions, cultures, countries, all that stuff, they have no clue. But you do, my lady, and I can tell, and I have much respect for you and your wisdom, your brilliance, your experience. I'm telling you, I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I told you this many times.
I'll send your money tomorrow. Thank you.
Whatever. I had a haters only live last night. I couldn't get one person to join my members only, which I created and took off last night. It was $30, $50, and $150. I guess.
Man, I hate I missed it. I totally would have joined.
But anyways, I truly appreciate you having me on. It's an honor as always, and
thank you.
And I'll let you get back to the monstrous details of what's happening down there. So
I know. I'm hoping that the guy is just a bipolar, manic, crazy, and that he really is not connected to Siddiqui.
You know, there's lithium dust that they can pump into the air conditioning system that would render everybody in there really.
They should do that. They should do that and just have a quiet, peaceful end to the whole thing.
And everybody comes out holding hands.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go into lithium production and shoe production very, very, very soon. So
there you go. It's a magical idea. Good concept.
I love you. All right.
All right. Have a good evening,
everybody.
Bye. Okay, there you have it. I told y'all, didn't I? I told you the truth about the dancing boys from Afghanistan, the whole thing. Oh no, we don't have any child brides in Afghanistan. You do. You have them in both female and male form. Period. Okay. So, Jules is our cult leader. I don't want to be a cult leader, Yvette. Yvette, the clip you sent to me, that is crazy. Am I right or wrong? That is a person out of her mind, right? That's what happens when you want to be a cult leader. You turn into a crazy person like that. You say those types of crazy things. Or you get up at 5 a.m. and you start recording somebody's side chat so that you can make sure that you write down who all was talking in that channel. That's what happens when you become a cult member. You either start trying to control what everybody is doing, or you try to make everybody drink the wrong Kool-Aid. I don't want to be a cult member. I just want to be one of the group. Just want to be one of the guys. Okay. Hey, MJ, how are you? Welcome. Y'all have a good evening. Enjoy your Saturday night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. We'll talk about Jodi Arias tomorrow. How's that? Blast from the past.